My name is Sergey, and I've been inventing algorithms for Yandex Taxi for the last 8 years since I looked like this. Uh, Before we start, let's do a quick show of hands. Does anyone here use Yandex Taxi? And does anyone feel like Yandex Taxi is sometimes too expensive, maybe when it rains or it snows or oh, I see some people. Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, that's on me. Now you know who to blame. Today, I will tell you about why we do algorithms, how we do it, and what is the future of our algorithms, and maybe how you can help. So let's start with imagining ourselves businessmen. We are starting a taxi service. It actually is quite simple. You just need to get some requests from passengers, and then you need to find some drivers that can fulfill those requests, and then the driver just drives the passenger from point A to point B. To do that, first you need some technology. Like to accept a request, you maybe need a call center or an user app. If you want to find a nearby driver to a passenger, you would need a radio, as it used to be done in the older times, or maybe a driver app. And then you need to actually, for the driver to collect fare from passengers, the driver needs to know that fare. And like traditionally, this has been done with these taximeters. And that's more or less all of it. But then you start to think about how you make your business grow, how you make it better. And usually you start with pricing. Like that taximeter calculates the price, but how actually it should calculate the price? Should it be done by kilometer, by minute? Should it be higher in the morning or in the evening, or should you do double fare at night? Those are all algorithmic questions that we try to answer. And why? Why is it important? Because to grow your business, your taxi business, your marketplace business, you need low prices for the passengers to come to you. And then at the same time, you want your drivers to earn more and more because you want more drivers to come to your marketplace. And when you think, and smart algorithms can actually achieve both of those goals at the same time. So, okay, now imagine we've done all of that. We established some kind of pricing model, and our business is starting to grow. And now we have not maybe before we had 100 cars. Now we have 1,000 cars, and we run into more complicated problems. So when our marketplace is becoming bigger and bigger, we need more complicated algorithms. These three are probably, so first, when you have only like 10 available drivers, you can just call them or use the radio or whatever, and like ask them, is there anyone available near Tashkent city or somewhere else? But when you have 1,000 drivers, that's not feasible anymore. And moreover, like there may be traffic jams in the city and maybe other considerations, and you need some algorithms to find out which driver is better for each passenger. The same stuff with pricing. Like before, you could just fix some kind of higher price in the morning and maybe some kind of higher price in the evening. But when you have lots of passengers and lots of drivers, you have lots of different dynamics in the city. Somewhere there's in some part of the city it rains, in the other parts of the city there's too many available drivers and they are like bored without requests, and maybe there's a concert nearby and it's ending and there's like a peak demand in that point. And you need to consider all of that to make prices optimal. And then maybe when you grow bigger and bigger, you start getting those crazy ideas. Maybe you just let several passengers share a car, and then the price will be even lower and the driver will earn even more. But more on that later. Let's start with the first one, and I will tell you how we actually achieve, how we develop, like how these algorithms work in our Yandex Taxi. So first, dispatch. Here, let's start with a picture, not with a talk. So this is a screenshot from one of our internal systems, which visualizes our dispatch algorithm. actually one of the cool stuff that you get to do when you work with algorithms. You get to build this internal tools and then feel like imagine you run a simulation of some kind. So here the pink points are the orders, the riders, and then the blue points are the drivers. You see there's very many of them. And then the black lines are the possible matches. So this means that this driver is nearby that passenger, and that like matches all the request parameters like a tariff or something else. And then the task of the dispatch is to find out who gets who. So which passengers gets which driver. And it's actually, in short, how it works. So first you need to find the drivers that are near your request, near the passenger. How you do it? You can probably just take several drivers around in the area and go to Yandex Maps and ask what's the estimated time of arrival for that driver to that passenger. When you have too many drivers, it becomes not very efficient because there's too many requests for the Yandex Map, and they can get expensive. So you just put your drivers on the map, and then imagine like you're running around the map and figuring out which driver is actually close to the passenger. That's how you do it. So this is the estimation part. So now we know that this driver is 5 minutes from this passenger, this driver is 6 minutes from this passenger, and so on. Now you need to score the possible matches. What do you mean? What do I mean? Probably one driver has a high rating, and we would like him or her to get some priority. Or probably one driver decides that he needs to go home, and this particular ride is very beneficial to him because it brings him nearby to his home. So that particular match gets a priority, and so on. So now we have all the scores, and then we put all of those scores into an algorithm that just solves for optimal matching. So it simultaneously figures out who gets who, and you get these green lines. This is our answer. And this thing we repeat like every couple of seconds, actually. So this is very like big and powerful system behind it. There's a big, powerful system behind it. Okay. So next is pricing. So why do we need dynamic pricing? I've been telling you about all those like events, like concerts or rains or rush hours. But what's the ultimate goal of dynamic pricing? It's not just, or it's not mostly about earning money. It's of course about earning money for the drivers, but it is first of all for the service to be available for everyone. So what do I mean? Like before, when I was talking about dispatch algorithms, I was telling you that for every passenger, you need to find some cars nearby. And to be able to do that, there needs to be some cars available. So how we do dynamic pricing? We fix a target of how many cars do we need in each area. That's itself a very complicated question, but we're not going to talk about that today. But like assume you need to like around 5 to 10 cars, like in the 1 kilometer area or something like that. And then you just calculate how many cars there actually are around you, around each person, around each passenger, or in the area. You can do it in different ways. And then you can think of pricing algorithm as a very simple logic, with a really simple logic. If there's too many cars, you decrease price. If there's too few cars, you increase price. And there is an illustration from one of our other internal systems that we use to monitor the work of this algorithm. So the upper graph is the result. It's how much your ride will cost. It's you can think of it as a coefficient that we apply to the lowest possible price. So there's morning rush hour when it's expensive, and then there's after the morning rush hour when it's not. And the bottom graph is exactly what I was describing before. Like the blue line is the share of available cars, and the red line is the target share of available cars. So you can see that it's actually pretty low. It's only around 5%. We need just 5% of available cars to make the service work. And still in the rush hour, we are able to achieve that only with a quite high price in this, but only for like a couple of hours. Okay. Some people will say 3x is too expensive, and we do agree with that. And we start to think, how can we do it? Can we do it cheaper for customers and still beneficial for drivers? And we think that one possible way is to match two different passengers in one car. Like, let's do another show of hands. Has anyone tried the carpool tariff in Yandex Go? Oh, wow, nice. So we move on to, so here you see an example of one carpool ride. You see those passengers with points A0 and A1. They were boarding the taxi quite nearby, and then their destination points B0 and B1 are like on the same route. So how it works? Essentially, you offer a discount. You find the passenger going the same way as you do, and the algorithm behind this matching logic, it optimizes between the detour and the match rate. You don't want to match the rides that are go together not so well, but still you don't want to go the rides to go low. Okay. Are those algorithms perfect? Probably not. So we've been developing them for many years, and we have like a huge backlog of stuff that we want to try or we want to improve. So let's take one example. Like from the slide on the dynamic pricing. Here you can see that there's a period where there's actually too many free drivers, and when is it? It's around 9 o'clock. It's when the rush hour ends, when everyone gets to work, and it feels kind of predictable. So we could probably lower the price a little bit earlier than we actually did. The same, you can find these imperfections in all of the algorithms. So probably sometimes dispatch fails to consider like all factors. It could probably know exactly when the concert ends. It could probably know. When there will be like a spike of demand. It could know whether a passenger is going to cancel the ride if it's too far, or whether the passenger is not, and so on. And as for the shared rides, yeah, as I said, some rides still go unmatched, and it's not so pleasant for the system. So it's 2025, and what's the answer? What's the way to improve our algorithms when there's like there are some complicated problems in them? Of course, it's AI. AI can mean different things, and actually we can use different things. We can use it like a thought partner. You can just ask AI or like a chatbot how to do it, and it will tell you like lots of great stuff. Pretty smart. Sometimes AI can do the coding for you, and there will be like a session about it, and you can actually we do some config changes, and we do some of our algorithms actually with AI. But usually when you mention AI in terms of algorithms, it's usually about some kind of prediction of aggregate a lot of information, big data, and see some dependencies that you could not predict, like with actual with logic. So for pricing, what would that mean? You can just um, you can use historical values. You can use your like local context of whether it rains or whether there is like a spike of demand somewhere else, and you can try to predict what kind of price there should be. And then on top of that price, you use your old algorithm, which is pretty stable and very simple. The same goes for dispatch. You can aggregate more and more data. You can not just see the nearest drivers, you can see all the trends, you can see the historic data and the histories of passenger cancellation and driver acceptance and whatnot. And the shared ride, this is probably the first of our algorithms that we built on AI from the start, because you want to make a higher discount for the rides that are more likely to be matched with other passengers, and it's really hard to think about all the factors that that go into that. Probably the longer rides will get matched with the higher rate, but not you can't say much else. So you just put a lot of data in the model, and you let it learn, and you let it output the discount for you. Okay, so let's recap what we've learned today. So if you have a marketplace and you want it to grow, you need some algorithms. And then when the marketplace grows, you need more and more complicated algorithms to make it better and more efficient and to let it grow even higher. And then when you encounter some complicated tasks that you don't know how to solve, you can let AI do it for you. Or maybe you can become an actual AI engineer and help someone else do it. And a couple more remarks. You see, it's not just about taxi, because I've been using the word marketplace and taxi interchangeably, but there are different marketplaces. It can be food delivery, it can be like scooter sharing or something else. And all of those marketplaces, they all need their specific algorithms. It's for both, be it for pricing or some personalization or dispatch or whatever. And then bringing back the technology. So algorithms should actually work to be efficient. So I told you that we do the dispatch every couple of seconds. For every minute we calculate the prices for the whole world, and for the shared rides, for instance, every time you open an app, we actually look into, are there any drivers going your way? So you actually need a lot of stuff. You actually need to build a very reliable technology to make it work. There will be also a talk about that in a moment. And so, thank you so much.